Mr. Speaker.
I call the Honourable Ruth Dyson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to make 3 points in my contribution to the third reading of the Statutes Amendment Bill. The first is that Labor supports this bill, and I want to just acknowledge the process that Minister Chester-Burrows undertook when getting agreement and understanding from all parties, which is proper and appropriate. And I also want to say that the Government Administration Committee took these issues, it's a large number of bills that are amended, 33 bills, took them very seriously, including requiring one section of the original Statutes Amendment Bill to be removed. We didn't consider it was appropriate as part of a Statutes Amendment Bill, so we didn't just rubber stamp it, we looked at it really carefully, and I think that's a good thing to do. So the first point is that Labor supports it, and we're pleased with the process in the main that it went through. I don't agree with the Minister's contribution and what I thought was a half-hearted attempt to defend the incompetence of Minister Jerry Brownlee, Leader of the House. I suppose he had to, really. He wouldn't have had much choice, given the future career prospects, if you just blatantly stay silent while the Leader of the House's incompetence is exposed to everyone. But saying that this bill needs to be put through under urgency because of the sale of liquor amendments is just nonsense. We have had them for weeks and weeks and weeks. They are not last-minute amendments. They've been well canvassed. We've had many, many sitting days under ordinary time of Parliament when this could have been progressed. And as my colleague, the Honourable Trevor Mallard, pointed out, on Thursday mornings we have set times where we have extended sitting hours for bills that are agreed by Parliament, and this would have been an opportunity to progress that. So, feeble effort from Minister Chester-Burrows. I understand why he tried to do it, but it didn't cut the mustard in terms of justifying the incompetence of Minister Jerry Brownlee and his House management. And the final point I want to make is that there is a real risk when putting through bills under urgency that something will be, it will be got wrong, and it will be required to be corrected in future. With the Statutes Amendment Bill, that is pretty ironic, given that this is fixing errors of the past. It doesn't matter who made them, they were just made for a variety of reasons. But we shouldn't risk making another mistake, and in regard to Part 25 of this bill, to see it approved by the Select Committee and then in an SOP to have an amendment by the Minister to delete that part in the SOP 329, and then for the government to vote against it, to vote against their own SOP, is very confusing. So I think that once again we see the risks of putting stuff through under urgency without proper consideration, and it's a risk that I don't think we should take. And it's certainly, with something that's totally agreed by the Parliament, is a risk we don't need to take. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those who have that opinion will please say aye. Aye. The contrary, no. The ayes have it.
Accident Compensation Amendment Bill number 2, third reading. Anti-Money Laundering and Countering Financing of Terrorism Amendment Bill number 2, third reading. Aquaculture Reform, Repeals and Transitional Provisions Amendment Bill, third reading. Armed Forces Discipline Amendment Bill, third reading. Births, Deaths, Marriages and Relationships Registration Amendment Bill number 2, third reading. Children, Young Persons and Their Families Amendment Bill number 2, third reading. Companies Amendment Bill number 3, third reading. Criminal Investigations Bodily Samples Amendment Bill, third reading. Disputes Tribunals Amendment Bill, third reading. District Courts Amendment Bill, third reading. Electoral Amendment Bill, third reading. Extradition Amendment Bill, third reading. Flags, Emblems and Names Protection Amendment Bill, third reading. Gambling Amendment Bill, third reading. Health Amendment Bill, third reading. Health and Disability Commissioner Amendment Bill, third reading. Insolvency Amendment Bill, third reading. Legislation Amendment Bill, third reading. Local Electoral Amendment Bill number 3, third reading. Local Government Act 2002 Amendment Bill number 3, third reading. Māori Commercial Aquaculture Claim Settlement Amendment Bill, third reading. Parental Leave and Employment Protection Amendment Bill, third reading. Passports Amendment Bill, third reading. Private Security Personnel and Private Investigators Amendment Bill, third reading. Real Estate Agents Amendment Bill number 2, third reading. Road User Charges Amendment Bill number 2, third reading. Sale and Supply of Alcohol Amendment Bill, third reading. Social Welfare Transitional Provisions Amendment Bill, third reading. State Sector Amendment Bill number 2, third reading. Statistics Amendment Bill number 2, third reading. Tariff Amendment Bill, third reading. Telecommunications Amendment Bill, third reading. Unsolicited Electronic Messages Amendment Bill, third reading. Wills Amendment Bill number 2, third reading. Wine Amendment Bill number 2, third reading.
Right, honourable members, after that lengthy explanation, I'm going to call on Government Order of the Day number 9 and
Unit Titles Amendment Bill, committee stage.
I declare the House in committee.